All righty. This is the preliminary hearing for Mr. Isaac Johnson, charged in warrant number 2025 WA 72709, simple assault, 2025 WA 72710, obstruction, 2025 WA 72711, simple battery on an officer. Representing the state is ASG Bean, representing the defendant, defense attorney Lane. Your witness, Ms. Bean.
Yes, I'd like to call Officer Rambo.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Could you
And
raise your
Ms. Bean, can you
hand?
talk up a little louder? I'm barely hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Officer Rambo, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Officer Rambo, can you tell us just state your name for the court?
Deputy Mondre Rambo with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And what are your duties with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office?
I'm assigned to the Sheriff's Enforcement Division. I assist in the needs of the Sheriff's Office in terms of courts, serving warrants, evictions, and then I do active patrol.
Do you do active patrol out in the public or do you do it in the jail?
Out in the public.
Okay. Do you have any duties in the jail specifically?
Yes, ma'am. When I'm in the jail, just depending on what housing I'm assigned to, those tasks could vary from feeding inmates, conducting pill call, shakedowns, bringing inmates to an infirmary for medical attention, etc.
Okay. And were you on duty on February 23rd, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on duty in the jail on that
Yes,
day?
ma'am.
Okay. And this is going to sound a little silly, but was that jail in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what were you doing while you were in the jail conducting duties? What specifically were you doing?
I was conducting feeding for the inmates in housing 6, section 6.
Okay. And did anything unusual happen other than the feeding?
Yes, ma'am. I had the inmates that were getting ready to be fed line up on the stairs in a single file line. And I had inmates that were assigned specific diet trays tailored to their diet, sit down in the day room area so that those two separate trays could be distributed evenly. I was approached by Mr. Johnson, who stated that per the medical staff that he was assigned to receive double portions. And I advised him that I was unable to verify that at that moment, and that I would at the conclusion of feeding all the inmates, and that if that were the case, then he would receive a double portion tray.
Okay. And did you recognize Mr. Johnson? Well, how did you identify Mr. Johnson? Let's say that.
By the he has on a red Clayton County detention center jumpsuit. He has a beard, brown skin male with a low haircut.
Right, but that day, how did you identify him?
I was not able to identify him specifically that day. Each inmate has a LE number assigned to them. So
okay.
you're able to actually identify them by their assigned LE number once you look it up in the system.
Okay, and so was he wearing that on his jumpsuit or?
That's a wristband.
Oh, a wristband. Yeah. So, well, continue telling us what happened that day after he asked for the double portion and you said to hold on.
So after telling him that if I had an extra tray available that he would receive that, I asked him to step back in line because there were inmates that were waiting to be served their tray. After Mr. Johnson walked off, he stated, "Okay, well, I'm not going to continue to be quiet. I'm just letting y'all know." And as he was walking towards the wall that was near the stairs, and then I asked him, "What did you say?" He I could visibly see that he was frustrated, kind of grabbed his shirt, balled up his fist, and kind of was kind of agitated that he wasn't able to receive the tray. And so when I asked him to repeat himself, he walked back toward me in an aggressive manner. And he said, I'm not going to continue to be quiet. That's all I'm saying. So I said, okay, well, you need to step back over to the area so people can continue to be fed. He continuously refused and stood toward me in an aggressive manner with his fist clenched and just visibly upset. So, based on the immediate threat to me, I attempted to push Mr. Johnson off to create distance. He was standing near a table that was in the day room, which caused me and him to fall to the ground. And I attempted to take him into custody um, just based off of that imminent threat at the time. While I was attempting to take him into custody, me and the other uh, deputy that was on scene attempted to gain compliance with Mr. Johnson. Um, he rolled. He was able to roll over in a way that he was able to get enough leverage to kick me. He kicked me, striking me in my upper left thigh area before me and Deputy Davis were able to get on top of him and attempt to continue to try to subdue him. We had him at taser point, was able to try to wrestle with him to get one cuff applied. But Mr. Johnson just, his sheer size and his weight, he attempted to kind of use leverage of his feet to lift us off. So I felt myself kind of lifting up, and we just weren't able to gain compliance. There was several inmates in this housing unit. It's typically maybe anywhere from 20 to 40 inmates in the housing unit at any given time. Um, he was able to continuously fight off me and Mr. Deputy Davis, and just based off of the totality of the circumstances, and just off the sheer imminent threat of any inmates that could possibly intervene while we're face down dealing with Mr. Johnson, I conducted a strike to Mr. Johnson's right eye with a closed fist, and I was able to continue. After that, he still continuously struggled with us. He nudged his left elbow back to attempt to strike Mr. Davis, and then we were finally able to successfully apply handcuffs. At the
Okay.
conclusion of us being able to apply handcuffs and actually securely be able to get Mr. Johnson subdued and detained, we were able to pick him up and escort him out of the housing unit to the rec area, so that way he would no longer be a threat.
Okay, let's just back up for a second. Let's go back to he approached you aggressively, right? He said that he had his fists clenched,
Yes.
right? Was he walking at a high, like in long strides?
Yeah, initially he was walking in long strides as if he was about to approach to get ready to attempt to fight us.
Okay.
And then he stopped.
Okay, and so when he'd stopped, how close was he to you?
Mhm.
Was he within striking distance or
Yes,
no?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Definitely within striking distance.
Okay. Did you ever ask him to step back, go upstairs,
Yes.
get himself away from you? Did you? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Several times. I asked him to step back and go upstairs.
Okay. And when you asked him to go upstairs, what did he say? Or did he say anything?
I can't vaguely remember what exactly he said, but I just know he was not moving.
So non-compliance.
Basically.
Okay. Let's go to when you said that he kicked you. I think that you testified that you all got into kind of a tussle and that in that tussle he kicked you. Is that what happened? Or did he kick you before the tussle started and that's what started the physical wrestling?
So yeah, as I attempted to create distance and which caused him to fall by the nearby table, when he fell, he turned and was able to turn and actually kick me during that whole interaction. So it was like I go to grab him to detain him and create distance. We'll create distance and then try to detain him. He falls. Um, Once he falls, he kicks me in the right upper left thigh area. And
Okay.
then I'm able to grab a hold of him again and try to attempt to gain compliance. Me and another deputy that was on scene.
Okay. What I guess I'm trying to trying to find out is, well, before I do that, let me ask this. You created distance, he falls, you're still standing,
Yes, ma'am.
and then he kicks you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it wasn't in the course of wrestling with him. So it wasn't in the course of wrestling with him that he kind of accidentally kicks you. It's he's on the floor and he kicks you. Is that what you're testifying?
Yes, ma'am. He's on the floor and he kicks me. But of course, as he's on the floor, I'm still trying to actively grab him so that I can restrain him. So during that whole motion, he's able to get kickoff before I'm able to actually physically grab onto him.
Gotcha. I know that you said that he would not comply with your instructions. Did he argue with you?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, he was being passively resistive. I just kept asking him, I said, go upstairs. Just kept saying,
So
all
he was
right, yeah,
resisting?
whatever, you know. Yeah, he was like, yeah, yes, man. He was like, fuck that shit, I believe.
Okay. Okay. And the person that you were interacting with that day, you see him on the screen today?
Yes, ma'am.
You recognize him how?
By his county issued jumpsuit, it's red in color. He has an undershirt with low haircut and a beard.
Okay. Okay, and then just one last question. You mentioned a bracelet, an Ellie that has an Ellie number on it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so did you, I guess, how did you identify once you got the LA number, or how did you get the LA number and then trace it to the right name? Like, just describe that process a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. You just get the LA number and the county has a system.
No, I get that, but was it like you've arrested him and now you're saying, hey, let me get your bracelet, or how did that work?
Yes, ma'am. After we detain the subject, of course we ask them, do they need medical attention, and during that course or somewhere so the LE number is detained, of course, when the scene is safe and when everything is safe and it's applicable to do so. So that may be just depending on what it is, and that may be when you obtain a LE number. And in this case, it more than likely was somewhere around the time where I asked him, did he need medical attention? And of
Gotcha.
course, I would need his LE number so I can look it up in the system and identify who he is, so I can tie that to the correct person.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. No further questions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Cross?
Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Hey, so when you were, I guess, face to face with Mr. Johnson, and then you said that he tripped over or fell back over a table.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was he retreating from you, like walking backwards at the time and fell back over the table, or did you push him back into the table and he tripped over it, or how did that happen?
I went to grab him to take him into custody. And during that motion of me grabbing him and trying to create distance at the same time, that's when he the table was behind him, obstructing obstructing him, and he fell.
Did you have your hands on him when he fell and tripped over the table?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Okay. And so he's falling backwards?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And is there I'm assuming there's video of this with the jail cameras?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. Do you wear any kind of body cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I guess just prior to this occurring, you said that you were commanding him or asking him to go back upstairs?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. And how many times did you tell him to go upstairs?
Probably it was approximately around 3 or 4 times.
Okay. And did it seem like he was lucid and able to understand your commands?
Yes, sir.
My father passed away, the tax records are still in his name. And I need them updated. They said they're gonna do it. They don't do it here, but they told me that.
All right, officer. Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Yes.
The tax assessor.
Okay, can you read that? Who's speaking? What is that noise coming from?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm assigned to probate court right now, security.
Okay. All righty. Any redirect?
Um, I just want to ask one quick clarifying question. Um, Officer Rambo, I heard you testify to me that you were creating distance, and I heard you testify to Mr. Lane that you were grabbing and creating distance. So can you just explain like how that works? If you're grabbing, if you're trying to create distance, you're pushing away, right? And then if you're grabbing, you're drawing in. So just explain a little bit about, just clarify that a little bit.
So trying to create distance from him, but reluctantly in that motion, I didn't observe the table there. So it was kind of like almost like a knee jerk reaction, trying to create distance at the same time, but then grabbing because we're both kind of in the one continuous motions to prevent me from falling.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you were grabbing him to stabilize yourself or
Yes,
stabilize him.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you. No further questions.
All righty. Closing arguments. Ms. Bing?
I'd like to just rest on well, can I reserve actually?
Okay. All right. Attorney Lane?
Your Honor, just briefly, as to the simple battery charge, the alleged kicking of the officer, just based on the testimony, it cuts against probable cause when my client's being pushed or grabbed and going backwards and tripping over a table. It seems like the natural thing would be for the leg to come up inadvertently. I don't know if we have any intent here on my client's part to actually have kicked the officer. So just based on that, we request a dismissal of the simple battery charge.
All right. Based upon, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Attorney Bing.
Yeah, the officer testified, just to Mr. Lane's point, the officer testified with some clarity that the defendant was on the ground already and that the officer was still standing. And so it would require intent to lift your leg and kick in the area that he described. I want to say, I thought I heard him testify that it was rather high, like in the thigh area. Um, so I think that it was clear that there wasn't an accidental kind of kicking or thrusting out of the leg or something that was kind of involuntary. That he was on the ground. He decided to get a lick in when the officer was still standing, and then the officer bent over to apprehend him. So with that, I would have, well, I would object to a dismissal of that charge, but the rest, I'll just rest on the rest of the testimony of the
All right.
officer.
Okay. Based upon the evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind the case over to the state court, Clayton County. That's the order of the court. And what case, is, you're free to go, Deputy. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the next case we're about to do. And Deputy, have you got those other inmates down yet, or do we just need to keep going?
Yes, Your Honor, we got him.
Okay, so who do you have? What about Trey Boykin?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who's handling Trey Boykin? What officer are they on?
Yes, I believe Officer Williams is here.
Yes, I was hoping we got him because he's been here since we started. All right, Deputy, if you could get Trey Boykin, please. All righty. All right, this now calling a matter, are we ready? Now calling the matter of Trey Boykin. Excuse me, this is the preliminary hearing for State of Georgia versus Trey Boykin, 2025 CW 50420 is the warrant number. He's charged with battery. Attorney, Ms. Bean, go ahead, call your first witness.
Yes, the state wants to call Officer Quishana Williams.
All right,
I'm here.
go
Oh,
ahead.
wonderful. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God? All right, thank you so much. Can you state your name for the court, please?
Investigator Q Williams.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Investigator Q Williams
Okay. And where do you work?
for the Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
And can you just describe some of your duties, please?
I investigate the crimes that occur inside of the jail, the Clayton County Sheriff's Office jail.
Okay. And were you on duty on February 28th, 2025?
Okay.
Were you investigating a crime that occurred in Housing Unit 3, Section 6?
Okay.
Sorry, your microphone, I don't know if it's your mic or what, is just coming in really faint. I don't know if anybody else is having trouble hearing her.
I am.
And that housing unit, is that in Clayton County?
It is.
Okay. Could you tell me a bit about the crime that you were investigating that day?
Yes, I was already in the jail investigating another assault that happened. And I walked to the infirmary. That's when I met with the victim and I saw his face was messed up. So I stopped what I was doing and asked him what happened. And that's when he told me he was assaulted. So after I went and spoke with him, I went back to the housing unit to speak with some of the inmates who I saw on camera. And that's when I made contact with Mr. Boykins.
Okay, now did the victim identify his attacker or no?
No, he didn't know anyone's names.
Okay. Did he describe the attacker?
He couldn't see.
You said,
His head was down.
oh, okay. And so how was he attacked exactly? How did he describe the attack?
He just said he was in the inside of the cell and guys just start attacking him by striking him.
How many guys, do you remember?
He didn't say. He said, remind you, he said he couldn't see because his head was down.
Oh, okay. So he's not sure if it was one person or more than one person.
He just felt strikes and feet.
Gotcha. So continue. You left the victim and went back to the jail? To the cells?
That's when I spoke with, because when I watch camera footage, I'm familiar with a few of those guys, and that's when I spoke with them. And Trey Boykins, who is on camera now, he told me that he was actually the one that was in there fighting him.
Oh, so Mr. Boykins told you that he was one of the attackers. Okay, and you witnessed that on video?
Well, I didn't witness anything because it happened inside of a cell, but I did witness Trey Boykins going inside of that cell. Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. So the footage did not show the actual attack, though?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so did you observe injuries on the victim? I mean, well, I think you did mention that, but can you describe those injuries?
Yes, he had like a black eye, scratches, marks all to his facial area.
Okay. And the person that spoke to you that day and said that he was the one that did fight with the victim, is he on camera today?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you just describe him briefly?
Yes, he had on an orange jumpsuit with white undergards and like a small afro.
Okay. And I think that concludes my questions. Thank you.
All right, any cross?
Hey, good morning, officer. I'm looking here at the report. I don't see anything. It just says that Mr. Jeremy Butler was the victim here. He had a beaten up face, looked like he was assaulted. I don't see I don't see anything in here where my client was interviewed by you or provided any kind of statement in your report. Is there a reason why that's not in the report?
What report are you looking at? Are you looking at the RMS report or are you looking at the incident report?
This is just the one that they gave us, the only one that they gave us for the hearing. It just
Yeah.
looks like it's about 3 sentences long.
Yeah, that's the RMS report. And as you see on the RMS report, it says see full incident report for the full report. I didn't write that report. But in my full report, it does state that. And you can ask the victim, ask the suspect. He basically said that he was the one attacking the victim.
Okay. And did you have a body cam on when you were interviewing him when he made this admission?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did he provide a written statement?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry, no, sir.
What is how was that how did that occur? Did he just randomly admit to you that he did it, or were you how did this encounter occur when you were questioning him?
I called out the gentlemen that went inside of the cell and I spoke with each one of them individually. And when I spoke to him, Mr. Boykin said that he was the one that fought him.
Um, all right. Did he tell you why he was fighting him?
I can't recall. I know it had something to do with going to the rec yard and the victim trying to run the housing unit.
Okay. Did he say that the victim had threatened him?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Have there been any prior incidents between these two?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Okay. And again, you say that there's no video of the actual incident.
No, because this happened inside of a cell.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All right, closing arguments.
Reserve.
Attorney Lane.
Your Honor, we would request a dismissal of the simple battery charge. This just based on this report that was provided for the hearing today, lacking all detail, nothing about this alleged admission by my client to the attack. We don't have any video of the attack. The alleged victim can't provide any names because the testimony here was that the head was down the entire time. So just based on that, we request a dismissal of the simple battery charge.
All right, so before I make my ruling, Mr. Boykin, you just keep getting charges while you're in jail. You just keep racking up charges. You just keep getting, I guess you just want to stay there. I guess that's what it is. I'm not sure. Thank you. All right, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind the battery charge over to the State Court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court. Thank you, Investigator Williams. You're free to go. Have a great day.
Judge.
All right, so all right, so now, Ms. Bean, go ahead and call the next one that you're ready for.
Um, if Miss Crockwell is ready in the jail, I'm happy to call.
Which one?
Miss Crockwell is.
I think that he has to talk. That's one of the ones I wanted him to talk to.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He had to bring forward because she doesn't want representation. So I need to talk to her. So another one.
Gotcha. Okay. Is Anthony Gibson okay to go forward on?
He's I don't no. Yes, I think we can. Anthony Gibson, deputy. You have Mr. Gibson.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All righty, Mr. Gibson, we're about to start your hearing. All right, now calling the matter, State of Georgia versus Anthony Gibson. Actually, Attorney Lane, this is one of the ones I wanted you to speak with. Let me let you take a moment. Let's hold for just one moment. What officer is this one?
Officer Pope?
Officer Pope.
All righty. Attorney Lane, just go in for just a moment. Deputy, if you would join room 1, just for a moment, I would like you to speak with this defendant before we get started. Make sure everything is okay. All right, Attorney Lane?
All right, Judge.
Um, go to.
There we go. All right, Judge, I had an update on Mr. Gibson's case.
Please stand by.
Sorry about that, Attorney Lane. I'm multitasking here. What was your announcement?
Thank you, Judge. Yeah, after meeting with Mr. Gibson, the defense is going to request a judicial bind over due to mental health concerns.
Okay, all righty. So this is Mr. Gibson, judicial bind. And so whatever officer was on that one, you are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.
And then did you also speak to Ms. Bogan?
No, Judge, I didn't know if you wanted me right back if we had another hearing,
Okay.
another officer waiting, or
Okay, so what's the next one you're ready for, Attorney, Ms. Bean?
Um, give me,
I'm sorry,
sorry, give me 1 second.
no worries.
Martin Antoine Marquise.
Let's see here. Antoine Martin?
Yes,
Okay, we have that officer on?
yes.
Okay, all righty. All right, Deputy, if you could bring Martin, please, Antoine Martin.
Your Honor.
And so, Attorney Lane, did you have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Martin? Do you think that he's a possible judicial?
yeah, Judge, I haven't had a chance. We think, need to be appointed. I haven't had a chance to meet with him. He was one that, yeah, we could looking into maybe offering a waiver in exchange for a
Okay, but
unsecured judicial release.
go ahead and join and speak with him for a moment and let me know if he's confident enough to move forward on this. Or
Okay.
if you're requesting a judicial bind over. Looks like he may
Okay.
have some concerns.
Okay.
Deputy, if you could join room 1.
And Judge, while I'm back there, did you want me to meet with the others as well, or just come back after meeting with Mr. Martin?
Anybody you think you may need to go ahead and meet with them. I'll be
Okay.
sitting right here.
All right, thank you.
Just hold tight, officer. I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I'm going to send you a quick message in the chat if you would, sorry.
Gotta start checking that. Did you just say that? Wait, did you? Oh, okay. All right. I haven't gotten it yet. Oh, no problem. Yes, go ahead. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Just
you.
let me know when you return.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Judge, whenever you're ready, I've got a few announcements.
Great, all right.
Okay, on the top of the calendar, Bogan, I met with him again and he confirmed that he does not want our representation and that he's going to go forward pro se and represent himself. It sounded like he did want to have his hearing.
Did he appear okay?
He was articulating some things.
Okay,
Uh, I'll he's going to put on his defense. He seemed lucid and articulate, but yeah.
okay. All right,
Uh,
so we'll move forward on that one. But I will ask you to just stand by.
Okay.
while he's doing that. All right, any other updates?
Yes, Mr. Antoine Martin.
Mhm.
That would be, the defense would be requesting a mental health judicial bind over.
Okay.
And
Who was it for
let's
Mr.
see.
Martin? Was that you, Officer Santiago? Okay, you're free to go. Thank you. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, Abdullah Sani.
Tani,
Uh, okay, everything seems okay with him, and he does want to have his hearing.
Does he have somewhere to reside?
Unfortunately not, and that was kind of part of the problem with this case, that he was sleeping in his car that was parked in a parking lot, so he doesn't have any address or anywhere
Gotcha.
to go.
Okay.
And then the very last one, Shaheem Williams,
Uh-huh.
he would just like to waive his hearing.
Okay. All right, who's here? Anybody here for Shaheem Williams?
I am Officer Sanders.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, who was that first one, that wanted to go pro se?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Who was that first, defendant that wanted to go pro se?
Bogan?
Hogan, gotcha, thank you.
Okay, all right. Ms. Bing,
Okay,
without considering Ms. Bogan, what's the next one you're ready on?
so I'm sorry, so we are still going forward on Bogan, because I can do that.
Yes, well,
Okay,
let me bring Bogan forward. Deputy, if you could get Bogan, please.
Your Honor.
All right, hold on, Mr. Bogan. Let's see, Mr. Bogan's. Hold tight, Mr. Bogan. I'm trying to review your criminal history. Okay, Mr. Bogan is actually on probation. All right, Mr. Bogan, if you would unmute Mr. Bogan, please. Deputy, if you would unmute the inmate, please. All right, Mr. Bogan, I understand that you want to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Ma'am, Addison T. Bogan is a corporation. I am here on behalf of that corporation. So yes, I am the representative of Addison T. Bogan.
And why do
That's
you want to represent this
That's not the
company?
law.
Why do I want to represent this company?
Yes, what
Because
credentials do you have? What credentials do you have to represent anybody?
I've been authorized by the United States government to buy, sell, and trade under this company.
Do you have those documents with you?
Ma'am, I'm incarcerated inside of a jail. So,
And when did you get those credentials?
when did I get those credentials?
Yes.
I've got these credentials October 18th, 1991.
How old are you, sir? How old are you?
Ma'am, I am a man of flesh and blood.
I know that. I can see that. I'm asking you how old you are.
You're asking me how old I am.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. All
No,
right. Let's just start this hearing because this is going to be interesting at best. All righty. So what I'm going to do, here's the thing, sir. I would not suggest you representing the company. All right. You do not have a legal degree. You have no legal experience. Apparently, it hasn't worked in the past because you have significant criminal history, but the law says that you have that right. So guess what? We're gonna go ahead and start your hearing. I don't think that's gonna be profitable for you because you don't understand this process, but maybe you do. Maybe you'll surprise me. So
I want to make sure everything.
I'm sorry.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to make sure everything that I'm saying is on record.
Everything is on record.
Okay.
And so,
Basically, I just want to let you know that I'm a man of flesh and blood speaking on
you already said that.
Okay.
We're about to start the hearing, sir, but you have to conduct yourself in a way that's conducive for the court, okay? You cannot interrupt. Just because you disagree with something, you're not going to cause a mockery of this court today. And so you've chosen to move forward by yourself. And so you're going to have to behave as if you understand the process.
What?
Hold on, I'm about to call the matter. And sir, do you know what you are charged with?
No.
I'm sorry, do you know what the corporation is charged with?
Ma'am, under the United States law,
All right, so here's the deal. Either you're going to participate in the hearing or you can just go back. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you about who you are and the credentials that the United States is giving you. I'm not doing it. If you're going to participate in this hearing, you're going to participate. So let me just tell you what you're charged with. You're charged with no insurance. And you're also charged with driving a motor vehicle with canceled registration. So if your position is that somebody gave you authority to drive without insurance and to drive without a validly registered vehicle, you might as well go back because that's not going to fly. If that's your position, you might as well just waive. That's not a valid defense. That's not what this is for, the purpose of this hearing. Okay, so let me just go ahead and start this hearing. State of Georgia versus Addison Bogan, charged in 2025 WA 72814, no insurance. 2025 WA 72815, driving a vehicle without it being registered. Representing the state is Assistant Solicitor Bing. Mr. Bogan is representing himself. Go ahead, Attorney Bing.
Yes, I'd like to call Officer Stenfield.
Yes,
Hi, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Thank you so much. If you could state your name for the court,
Officer Shillette Stanfield.
and can you tell us where you work?
I worked at the Clayton County PD.
Okay, and tell us a bit about your duties.
Well, I work patrol, uniform division, and we respond to calls. We also do traffic and stuff like that.
Okay, and were you on duty on February 26th of 2025?
I was.
Were you at Terra Boulevard and Sherwood Drive?
I was driving northbound on Terra Boulevard.
Okay, and did you have cause to conduct a traffic stop that day?
Well, it wasn't a traffic stop per se. It was we have RTCC, which is the real time crime center, using the FLOC system. A vehicle was observed on Terra Boulevard in Mount Zion Road, driving southbound on Terra Boulevard with that vehicle was stolen. So it was put on the radio. I was in the area. I started looking for the vehicle. As I was going north on Terra Boulevard, Sherwood Drive, I see the vehicle going southbound on the last lane, which is the third lane, and made a right onto National Colony Drive. And I then proceeded to make a U-turn, got behind the vehicle, looked for the vehicle, and I found the vehicle in front of a building at Rivers Edge apartment. And then once I approached the vehicle, Mr. Bogan came out and asked him, "Are you driving the vehicle?" He said, "Yes, that's my car." And I said, and I asked him if he had his ID on him, because the vehicle was reported stolen. At that time, he refused to give me his ID, and that's when I detained him for further investigation on the stolen vehicle.
Okay, and so how did you come to discover that he had no insurance?
After I detained him, checked the vehicle to GCIC, and GCIC revealed that the vehicle did not have any insurance and the tag was suspended.
Okay, and so, sorry, you mentioned that he didn't have any ID on him.
No, he refused to give his ID.
Right. But can you just tell us a little bit about that process in terms of how you're able to check a person's insurance if you don't have his ID?
The insurance is connected to the license plate, which is the registration. You check the registration, it tells you everything about the vehicle.
Okay, so you were just able to run the tag.
Yes.
And it told you that it didn't have insurance and it didn't have a valid registration.
It was also suspended.
Gotcha. Okay, were you, at what point were you able to ascertain who the driver was, if he didn't give you the ID?
Well, after I placed him in custody, then I had some other units came. We placed him in the back of my vehicle because he was driving a stolen vehicle. And once I placed him in custody, we asked him, then he said his driver license was in the car. I went to the car and we retrieved his driver license from his wallet. And that's when we confirmed that the car belonged to Mr. Bogan at the time.
Okay, so the car belonged to him, so it wasn't stolen.
Well, the car was reported stolen. He reported the car stolen, but the car was actually repossessed. He went and got the car back. He never called back to have the car removed from being stolen.
Okay.
So he was driving a stolen car, but which was his car.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I'm clear. You said that you didn't conduct a traffic stop, but you did observe him driving, or?
Yes, I did. On Terra Boulevard before he made that right turn on National Colony Drive.
Okay, and so when you were able to interact with him, he was parked or he was pulled over?
He was parked in front of the building.
Okay, so he had already parked on his own accord, and then you approached.
And then I approached, yes.
Do you see? Sorry. Let me go back for a second. Where you conducted the investigation, was that in Clayton County?
It was.
Okay, and the person that you arrested that day,
yeah, it's a black male, orange jumpsuit.
Okay, you see him here?
Yes.
Okay, and just for fairness, when you discovered he didn't have, it wasn't stolen because it was his, and you were charging him with insurance and no insurance and registration, how is it that he came to be arrested? Is that typical to be arrested for such things?
Well, that was another thing, and also he was shown to have once we check him on GCIC, he also was shown to have a felony warrant out of Gwinnett County.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that concludes my questions. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bogan, do you have any questions for the officer?
Okay. Under the United States Constitution, for a law to be broken, there has to be a victim involved. In your argument, you never stated that I, a man of flesh and blood, deprive anyone of liberty, life, or property. If you cannot provide me with the victim, then I demand all these charges be dismissed for lack of.
The victim is the state of Georgia.
Sorry, what was that, ma'am?
The victim
Sorry,
is the state of Georgia. What is your next? That's an inappropriate question. Go ahead. What's your next question?
Basically, I just want to say that my rights have been infringed upon when I, a man of flesh and blood, was violently thrown in handcuffs and kidnapped and taken to a facility where I'm in constant
Is that a question,
fear
sir?
of my life.
Is that a question?
Ma'am,
You can.
ma'am, this is there is
No, I'm
argument
talking.
because of-
When I'm talking, you don't.
I'm sorry.
This is the part of the hearing where you only ask questions of the officer. You'll get an opportunity to make your closing arguments at the end. But only thing you're doing now is asking the officer questions. And the only questions you should be asking him is directly related to whether or not you did not have insurance. It should be related to the charges. We're not here to talk about your status or your corporation. So go ahead. Any questions for the officer?
Ma'am, I'm just trying to find out, who am I fighting against? Who exactly am I fighting against? Am I fighting against the officer? Am I fighting against the judge? Who is this argument against?
Bogan, if you did not understand this process, you should have used your counsel. I'm not going to sit here. Do you want the counsel to help you?
No, ma'am, I don't need any help from any counsel.
Well,
it's not an argument.
I'm about to end this hearing. Do you have any questions for the officer? I'm being real patient here.
Your Honor, I'm just trying to find out.
Do you have any questions for the officer?
Okay, officer, did you see me, a man of flesh and blood, driving? And you said you seen a car on Terra Boulevard. Were you able to identify me physically in that car traveling?
When I saw you driving on Terra Boulevard, made the right turn on National Colony Drive, I found the car parked in front of the building, and you came out the building. I asked you, you asked me, was I looking at your car? I said, yes. Is this your car? You said, yes. I said, were you just driving it? You said, yes, because you were making DoorDash. And when I asked you for your driver license, you refused to give it. And after I told you the car was reported stolen, you still refused to give me your ID, which then I put you in handcuffs.
Sheriff, that's not what I asked you.
Yeah,
I asked you,
sir,
when
he answered the question. What's the next question?
ma'am, I asked him, that's not the question I asked him. I
Well,
asked him, was
because
he
you
able
don't
to
agree,
identify
just
me?
because you don't agree with the answer, he answered. Go to the next question, sir.
Okay.
What's your next question?
Is there a victim in my case? Is there any victim in my case?
The state of Georgia is, Georgia already told you.
You said the state of Georgia is a victim?
Yes.
I don't understand the state of Georgia being the victim.
Right, because you don't understand the
State of
process.
Georgia is not a
That's
physical
why you
person.
should have used your attorney. You're right.
The state of Georgia isn't a physical person.
All right, so I'm going to bind his charges over. Deputy, go ahead and take him away. He's done.
Ma'am, Your Honor,
PC found.
Your Honor, please, ma'am. Your Honor.
I told you
All
that
right, ma'am. Your Honor, please.
you were not going to properly handle your case. I'm not going to keep listening. Just hold on. Hold on. Go ahead and unmute him. Go ahead and unmute him.
Your Honor, man, I'm just frustrated. I've been in jail. Like, I've been going crazy. Like, the
And you
things
know
that
why?
I've seen.
Because you won't let anybody help you. You don't know what you're doing. You're losing, sir. You're losing.
Your Honor,
Because you
please.
don't know what you're doing.
Your Honor.
We
all
would
right.
like counsel to assist.
No, ma'am, I would not like counsel, ma'am. I just like to keep asking the officer the questions because it's simple
I'll
fact.
give you one more question. Make it good. Make it count.
Okay. So basically, you said that I admitted to driving the vehicle. I'm asking you, do you have body cam footage of the whole incident?
I do. It was recorded.
Okay. Can I ask another question on?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you said you seen me leaving the building and you gave me a chance. Why did you immediately put me in handcuffs when you didn't even identify me as a person?
Because you were driving
Identify me at all.
a vehicle that was reported stolen, and when I asked you for your ID to verify who you were, you refused at that time, which is why I put you in handcuffs so we can investigate the stolen vehicle.
Okay, so I was never given the chance to talk or anything. The first thing you did was put the handcuffs on me. So I'm trying to find out what exactly made you put the handcuffs on me, because you didn't know who the vehicle belonged to at all, or you didn't give me a chance to identify myself. You just threw me in handcuffs when you seen me leaving from a building. I'm trying to find out what was your motive behind putting me in handcuffs, because you just told the judge that you
All right, sir.
detained me.
When you give him a question, give him an opportunity to answer it. Go ahead, officer.
Okay, so you're driving a stolen vehicle. At the time, no one knows who the vehicle belongs to. You may say it belongs to you. I don't know that until you show me an ID so I can verify. When you refuse to give me an ID, I will put you in handcuffs so I can go and do what I need to do to make sure that you're not the one who stole the car or the car belongs to you.
Okay, so what were your exact words? Do you remember your exact words that when you asked me for my ID or identification before you put me in handcuffs? Do you remember exactly when you approached me?
I told you the
exactly
vehicle
say to me?
I told you the vehicle was reported stolen and I need your ID.
And I told you no. Do you remember exactly what I said?
Yes, you refused to give your ID.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All righty. Any redirect, Attorney Bean?
No, Your Honor.
All right, closing arguments. Go ahead, Mr. Bogan.
Okay, Your Honor. Basically, I'm just asking for a signature bond or any way to get out, because of the simple fact that he said I had a hole in Gwinnett County. I don't think I have a hole in Gwinnett County, because the day before I was arrested, I was just in this county jail one day, and then I got arrested the next day by this officer, Stanfield. So he said I had a hole in Gwinnett County. That's why I'm still here on these current charges, which are 2 citations. So basically what I'm asking is it any way I could just get a signature bond and deal with the charges that I'm already having to deal with in Gwinnett County, man? Because I'm just here for 2 citations, and I've been here 3 weeks, and I think that's more than time served, man.
Well, you know what, Mr. Bogan, had you spoke with your counsel, maybe he could have assisted you in doing something and speaking with the state about your case. But you're so busy talking about what you're talking about until you're doing yourself a disjustice, if that's a word, injustice. So you are wanted in Gwinnett County. You are on probation. You were sentenced to 5 years in 2022 for drugs.
That's not accurate information, now.
I'm looking at your criminal history. Yes, it is accurate. So no, you don't qualify for a signature bond at all. And you've been through this. I don't know why you acting like.
Okay, so
you don't
basically what I'm
understand
saying
this process.
is,
You have an extensive criminal history. At any rate, I'm binding both of your charges over to
look,
the state
man,
court of Clayton County. I've given you enough
hey,
time.
if I die in this jail, it's Clayton County's fault. That's what I want to say. I want to say
Okay.
for the record, and I denounce
Okay.
any contract that I did not enter into freely and voluntarily and willingly.
All right, deputy,
Okay, so
you
do
can
what
take
you do.
him. Deputy, you can take him. Don't let him get killed. All right, so Who do we have next? Officer, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good day.
You as well.
Neil Christopher or Christopher Neal?
Christopher Neal, deputy, if you can get Mr. Neal. And what officer is handling this case?
That is Officer Loudon.
That's right, I'm here.
Okay, who is Officer Ware? They just sent me a chat. Is that earlier? Oh, that was 10.
No,
Yeah.
I just sent it.
Who do you have?
Brittany Madison, you said, they said earlier that she was already moved to state.
Yes, you're free to go. I'm sorry. Yes, you are free to go.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Attorney Bing, who did you say was the
next defense-
officer on this one?
Oh, my officer is Officer Loudon.
Right.
I think he's on.
All right, so we're about to
I
have
am.
the preliminary hearing. All right, Mr. Neal, this is now calling the matter State of Georgia versus Christopher Neal, 2025 WA01554, theft by taking. Representing the state is Attorney Bing. Representing the defendant is Attorney Lane. Your witness, Ms. Bing.
Yes, state calls Officer Loudon. If you could raise your right hand to take an oath. And if you can also get in the frame of the camera, because it cuts you off at the neck.
Is
Yep.
that better?
Great, thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you so much. If you could tell the court your name,
Officer Loudon,
and where do you work?
I'm the police officer, City of Atlanta. I'm assigned to the airport.
Okay. And what are your duties in the airport? Well, what are your duties with the department that you work for?
I work patrol inside the airport.
Okay. Do you have arresting powers?
I do, ma'am.
All right. And were you on duty on February 6, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the airport?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the side of the airport that was in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you make any arrests that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe, sorry, did you make an arrest of Mr. Christopher Neal?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe the circumstances there?
I went to the employee checkpoint, which is at 6000 North Parkway, the lower level of the airport on the north side. Spoke to the victim, Miss Rice. She was also an airport employee. She stated she went through an employee checkpoint and removed her watch and placed it into the X-ray machine. Miss Rice stated that she walked away from the checkpoint, and then realized she left her watch. She returned to the checkpoint and advised TSA that she had an Apple Watch missing. Miss Rice stated she tracked her watch to T-Concourse at a bar where another airport employee had her watch in possession. I approached the subject, named Mr. Neal, and stated that TSA, and he stated that he notified TSA to watch, about the watch and tried to turn this lost property. Ms. Moore, TSA supervisor, and I reviewed the video footage of the incident. Mr. Neal advised TSA X-ray screener that there was a watch left on the X-ray machine belt. The X-ray machine screener took possession of the watch, placed the watch on top of the X-ray machine, and excuse me, and continued to screen the other employees. Mr. Neal returned to the X-ray machine and took the watch off the X-ray machine. And approximately 2 seconds later, picked up the watch and walked away with the watch. According to the video, Mr. Neal looked around and continued to leave the checkpoint and walked to his work site. He was arrested for that. Ms. Rice wants to prosecute for that, for step by taken.
Okay. So let's just go through this a bit more clearly. Okay. So someone's going through security, a passenger's going through security, takes off the watch?
No. Both people, Neal and Ms. Rice, are airport employees. They went through the employee checkpoint for screening.
Okay.
Ms. Neal left her watch at the X-ray machine. Ms. Rice didn't, sorry.
Why would she have cause to take off her watch? Is it the same kind
It's
of
screening? It's X-ray machine. You got to take off all your
X-ray, okay.
valuables. Right.
Okay. And so she puts it on top of the machine?
No, she puts it in the
bin?
Little tray, a little bin, a circle bin.
Okay.
And with the rest of her property, it goes through the machine. She's supposed to pick it up on the other side of the X-ray machine. So apparently she did not pick it up and walked away without it. When she returned.
Oh, wait, hold on. Where was Mr. Neal during this time?
He came after her.
So he was in line with her?
Apparently behind her, yes.
Okay. So the watch is in the bin. She walks off. And what happens?
He came behind her. Noticed there was a watch left there. All right. Made contact with the screener. Notify him there's a watch.
Okay.
The screener picks it up, put it on top of the X-ray machine, and continue to screen the rest of the employees.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Neal comes back, sees the watch, takes the watch, walks his work site. Ms. Rice says,
wait, where's his work site? I'm sorry to interrupt. Where's his work site?
T-Concourse.
Okay. Do you have any idea what he was doing there? Because I thought you said that he was at a bar.
He works there, T-Concourse.
Okay. So he works at the bar. He's not like airport security or anything like that. No. He's not. Okay.
No, he's an employee of that bar of T-Concourse.
Of that bar. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. So he walks off to the bar with the watch.
Yes.
Okay. And is that when you encountered him?
No, Miss Neal called us. I responded. She advised me she tracked her watch to T-Concourse,
gotcha,
where Mr. Neal works.
Okay.
I approached Mr. Neal, confirmed about the watch. He said he tried to give it to a TSA employee. So I escorted him back to TSA checkpoint and reviewed the video. The video shows otherwise, that, like I said, he did pick the watch up, try to give it to screener, X-ray screener. She turns away and continues to screen the employees. Mr. Neal returns approximately a few seconds later, retrieves the watch, leaves the screening process, walks to his work site.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is there a designated place in the airport to drop off lost property or to report lost property?
There is, but you can also advise TSA that this lost property is here as well. They got just a couple of different locations He could have took it to lost and found, which is inside the atrium, or he could have given it to TSA. He could have done either or.
Okay. And what is it? Just a drop off? Is it just a drop off, or is there a process, like any paperwork or anything like that?
No, it's no paperwork.
Just okay.
No. Now, if I turn something to the lost property, yes, it's like a little card I fill out.
Okay. But he never made it there. Is that your test?
He did not. He just notified TSA, and then, like I said, she put it on the screener. He leaves, come back, picks a watch up, and walks away.
Okay, and takes it to the bar.
His work site, right?
Okay.
On T Concourse.
Okay. At what point does he get arrested?
I have to review the video and talk to Miss Rice.
Okay. Were you able to ask him, did he give you any indication that he did not intend to return it or give it to lost and found? Did he give you any indication like that?
No, he said he turned in TSA, which he did, but he came back and retrieved it and walked off.
So he denied having it at all?
No, he had it in possession. He doesn't deny having it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he said that he tried to turn it in TSA.
Right. And I heard you say that. Okay. So the person that you interacted with that day that you claim had the watch, do you see him here today?
I can't see anyone on my screen, actually. Let me see if I can turn my phone.
Actually, if you're on a phone, you'll have to swipe the screen altogether to see the different boxes. Do you see other people? Now you're muted.
Okay, I believe the white gentleman, my top left, has a beard and brown hair and a red jumpsuit, orange jumpsuit.
Okay. All right. I'm going to conclude my questions. Thank you.
All right. Ross?
Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
When you're hired there at the airport, is there any kind of an employee manual or instructions on what to do when you do find lost property?
I can't speak on that. They do have a side batch testing. We go through every couple of years, things like for unintended bags and so on, stuff like that. But so you answer the questions, yes.
Okay. And you said there is a designated lost and found area that you can go to?
There are several.
Okay. And all
Depends where you're
employees
located in the airport.
Okay, and all employees are instructed where those locations are?
I can't speak if they are or not, but the main lost and found on domestic side is in the atrium. After hours is near T checkpoint north.
Okay. And you were speaking with the TSA supervisor, is it Moore?
Hold on a second, please.
Miss Moore?
I think that's what her name is. Yes.
Okay. And you said you spoke with her and then you're reviewing the video footage. What did Miss Moore have to say?
Nothing. Basically, I mean, I'm reviewing the video, so I'm not going by what she thinks happens. I'm looking at the video and I make determination whether what transpired by the video.
Okay.
Because she was in the screener as well. She wasn't a screener. We're both watching the video. So.
And when you approached Mr. Neal, he didn't make any attempt to hide the watch?
No.
And he cooperated with you?
He did.
All right, well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
Closing arguments.
State's gonna run some of the testimony of the officer.
Attorney Lane.
Your Honor, we just argue for a dismissal of the theft by taking. This just doesn't really seem to add up. You've got Mr. Neal, who at one point, if he wanted to steal the watch, he had possession of it. Why in the world would he return it? And then we have no idea. He says he made an effort to contact TSA and notify them of the lost property, but the officer's testimony is he said he's got Miss Moore listed in his report, but there's no testimony on what discussion they had or whether he confirmed with Miss Moore whether my client actually did indeed contact TSA about the lost watch. And so just based on that, we would request a dismissal.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Bing.
For closing, I'm just resting.
Oh, okay. All right. You don't want to do it. You're not doing a closing?
No.
Okay. All righty. I thought Attorney Bing was going to clarify it, but I had a question. So he was in possession of the watch? Because it seems like that was different than what
Yes.
Attorney Bing just said.
Yes, ma'am, he was.
And how much time passed between it being retrieved at the baggage, the TSA thing, to when he was found to have it in his possession?
Your Honor, that I don't know. I can't really tell you how much time had passed.
Okay, and so it was in his pocket?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so based on the evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind this case over to the State Court of Clayton County as to order the court. All righty, let's see where we are now.
I think we have Sanders and Sani.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm free to go?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you said who? Call your next one?
Yes, the case with Regal Sanders.
All righty, if you can get Regal Sanders, deputy.
We don't have those standards, Your Honor.
I don't think she heard you.
We don't have a standard on our list.
You don't have a Regal Sanders?
No, ma'am.
All right, yeah, if we need to bring Ms. Sanders, or I don't know if it's a he or a she, but we need to get inmate Sanders.
Okay.
What was the next one, Ms. Bing?
Sani, Abdullah Sani.
All right, do you have Sani?
Yes, ma'am, we have him, but do you know Sanders' first name?
Sanders is
Regal,
Regal.
Regal. I believe, can someone give her the LE number?
Your Honor, you have it in front of you.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. 216-5508, thank you.
What was the first name again?
Regal, Bregel, Sanders. And who is this?
It should be Sonny.
Is that, are you Mr. Sani? Okay, all right. We're about to have your preliminary hearing. And Attorney Lane, were you able to speak with Sonny?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he seemed to be okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, now calling the matter of State of Georgia versus Abdullah Sani, charged in warrant number 2025 WA 72759, loitering, 2025 WA 72760, criminal trespass. Your witness, Ms. Bing.
Yeah, state calls Officer Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sorry?
Yes, ma'am. Can you
Okay. Yeah, you're a bit faint. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that. Other than speak up, I suppose. Okay. Could you just state your name for the record?
Gabrielle Smith?
And where do you work?
Clayton County Police Department.
Okay. And what are your duties?
I'm on uniform patrol, so we do like just uniform patrol, answering calls, traffic stops. That's about it.
Okay. And were you on duty on February 25th, 2025?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And did you have cause to make contact with Mr. Abdullah Sani?
Yes.
Can you just describe those circumstances?
Yes, we were called out because someone called us in reference to an incident where he had threw a tree log in their car while they were driving.
So
So
wait, hold on. Where was this though?
this was at Attucks Park, if I'm not Paradise Park, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that in Clayton County? So Paradise Park on Attucks Boulevard?
I believe that is the location, if I'm not mistaken. It was two separate incidents that day of the call.
Okay. All right. Continue.
So we originally got the call in reference to him throwing a tree log inside of an individual's vehicle that was traveling along the roadway. When we made contact with the individuals and observed the damages, we realized that it was Mr. Sani at that time. Mr. Sani was also at the park where he was previously advised that he was not able to return back to. He stated that he was residing he left the park when he was told he had to leave. However, he returned back after that situation because he said that he was residing in his vehicle, which he was parked in a handicapped spot at the location.
Okay. When you say reside, do you mean he was living out of his car? Okay. And when you say logs, are you talking about twigs or actual big chunks of tree?
Actual big chunks of tree.
Okay. Okay. So you responded to people that were actually in movement, or they were parked cars?
They were moving. They're driving along the roadway, and he was outside standing along the roadway when he first threw the tree log.
Okay, and so a motorist called police?
Yes, he called.
He
said that the tree log came inside of his front passenger window, which when we got on scene, we did observe the damages in the tree log inside of the vehicle. And Mr. Sani advised that he did do those actions.
Oh, so he was still on site. Okay, and the victim identified him as the person that did it? Sorry, you're like, I don't know why your voice isn't coming through. Could you just? Uh-oh. Can you hear us? Because you're frozen. Oh dear. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better. So Mr. Sani was still on scene. That's what you said? And the victim was able to identify him?
Correct.
Okay. You said that there was a second. Well, sorry, let me stay there. Was he asked to leave by police?
Yes.
Is this the first time he was asked to leave, or had he been asked to leave prior to that day?
He was asked to leave prior to that day. He was asked to leave on February 11th.
On February, say that again?
February 11th.
Okay. And this was February 25th, right? Got it. All right. You said there was a second incident. Can you describe that?
Yes, so the first incident when we got called out was with the motorist in the tree log. And then the second incident was when he was still at the park on February 25th when he was asked to leave on the 11th, which was the second incident.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So he was doing the same thing twice on both days?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And he was identified in both incidences?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
By you or by another victim, or who identified him?
He was identified by another Clayton County personnel who informed him on the 11th, who also showed back on the scene and advised that he was informed on the 11th.
Gotcha. So there was another officer that was there for both incidents and recognized him?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. And do you see him here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And could you just describe him briefly?
Yes, he's currently in an orange jumpsuit, a short black hair, look like he has like full facial hair. It's kind of dark. It says Clayton County Jail on the screen.
Okay. Did you testify that he was parked in where was he parked?
Parked in a handicap parking space at the park.
Okay. And did he have a valid handicap sign or tag or?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Okay. And do you know what hours the park is open?
I believe I don't recall. I'm sorry.
Well, do you know maybe if you don't know the exact time, but do you know if during this incident the park was closed?
During this incident, the park was open, but he did inform that he did stay there overnight for a certain amount of nights.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, that concludes my questions for now. Thank you.
All righty, any cross?
Hey, good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Mr. Sani, when he was told to leave by the officers on February 11th, did they issue him a citation or a written warning on that day, like a trespass warning?
I believe it was a written warning, but I can't recall.
Okay, because I'm not seeing, I just see it referenced in your report, but doesn't say whether it was in writing or who gave it or any kind of warning number. Or do we know how long this warning was for to not return order, verbal order, how long it was for?
I do not, no, sir.
Okay. And do we know, was he given an opportunity to leave the park with his car that day, or was he just told to hit the road and walk?
On the February 11th?
Correct.
Yes, he said he informed us on the 25th that he did in fact leave after he was informed to leave. However, he returned back because he had nowhere else to go.
And he returned back because that's where his car was parked?
No, he just returned back because I guess that was a known area for him to be at.
Okay. So he actually left with his vehicle then on February 11th?
He informed us that he did.
Okay. All right. And you can't tell me how long I guess the order was for him to not return. We don't know how the length of it.
Sir, I do not know.
Okay. All right. And did you say the hours of the park did they have any signs there, like no trespassing signs?
No, no, sir. Not that I'm aware.
Are the hours of the park posted?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All right, any redirect?
Yes, you just testified that you weren't aware of any posted signs for the opening and closings of the park, right? Are you personally familiar with that park?
A little bit, yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you, in that familiarity, are you aware, even if you don't know specifically or have seen signs, are you able to testify to the park having a closing, or can you say with any certainty that the park ever closes?
I'm not sure actually, but I know that there is a time frame as to when and when they cannot be there. I can just not give you the exact time.
Okay. Out of your familiarity with that park, would it be safe to say that it does not permit overnight visitors?
No overnight visitors.
Okay, all right, thank you. That concludes my questions.
Alrighty. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, I'm a little confused. It appears that he also has a felony charge attached to this incident. Is that right? This shouldn't have been on this calendar. The dates are the same. He was also charged with terroristic threats.
That was the
It was just what?
That was when he threw the tree log into the motorist vehicle. That was that incident.
Right, but all of this happened together?
Yes, on the same day.
Why is there two separate ones?
Because of the first incident has its own separate case number because that was a separate incident. When we found out that he was still residing at the park, that was another incident.
But all of this is related to him being at the park.
Correct.
Yeah, all of this should have gone to a Superior Court. To me, it's so intertwined. It should go up to Superior Court altogether, not just the terroristic threats. We'll talk about terroristic threats, and I'll just make a determination as to whether I submit it up to state court or Superior Court. All right, so go ahead and talk about the terroristic threats as well.
Your Honor, are you asking the state to question her on that, or just asking her
Yeah,
to
we're going to
speak freely?
include, I know when I did my opening, I only opened it up to the last two warrants, which was the loitering. When I called the calendar, when I called the case, I only did warrants 59 and 60, but I also want to include 61. So 2025 WA 72761, which is consecutive for the terroristic threats. So make your case on that as well.
Okay. Officer Smith, was this defendant observed threatening anyone on either incident date?
No, it's the incident where he threw the tree log into the motorist vehicle. And he did testify, he did confirm that he did in fact throw the tree log into the vehicle. We also observed the damages as well as the tree log inside of the vehicle when we got on scene as well.
But did anyone observe or claim to have observed that he made any threats toward anyone? Any verbal threats toward anyone?
So with terroristic threats, it considered because the motorist was moving in the vehicle when the tree log was thrown inside the vehicle.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Gotcha. Okay. Did the defendant ever, okay, so is it your testimony that there was no communication of a threat, right? It was just the act. Okay. All right, I think that concludes my questions then.
All righty, Attorney Cross, counsel.
Hey, all right, officer, this terroristic threat, I guess throwing the tree or the log through the vehicle was what was the name of the person that was there that was alleging this was done?
I can't recall his name off the top of my head.
Did you generate a report for that?
I did.
Okay, because the only report I have references the loitering and alleged trespass at the park charges. How many people were in the vehicle?
It was just one person, and his name was Mr. Robert Barber.
Robert Barber. And did you get a written statement from him?
No, sir, he didn't want to write a statement.
Okay. And was any of this recorded on your body cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were any other witnesses interviewed other than Mr. Barber?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All right, any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Just for clarity, Officer Smith. So when the wood was thrown, it actually broke the window of the car?
Completely shattered it and landed on the front right side of the vehicle seat.
All right, and is your testimony that he actually admitted to doing it?
He did admit to doing so.
And Lane, you saying that Attorney Lane, you're indicating that he did appear lucid when you talked to him? There was no issues? You didn't think?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mhm. All righty, so I'm gonna bind all three cases over, but I'm gonna bind these over to the Superior Court. And did you charge him with a felony? You did charge him with the felony terroristic threats.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna bind all three cases over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court. And Yate, it appears that this terroristic case is on tomorrow's calendar. So we need to make sure that we know that that case should not be dealt with, that charge.
I'll remove it.
All righty. And so, where is, the officer's gone, all right? And
Honor.
Yes.
Officer Ware was asking if his case was moved to the state. Was he free to go? I was asking to see which defendant he had in order to
No, I've already talked to him. He's gone.
okay. I saw it in the chat.
Yeah. All righty. All righty. So, Attorney Bing, who you want to do next?
I think the only ones I have left was that first Cockwell. That was it. That's the only one that I don't have anything for.
All right. And
Your
so,
Honor.
Justice,
I was gonna ask about justice. Are we continuing or are we doing
no,
away?
wait, hold on, because I wanted to look at his case.
Yeah, Judge, that was one we were gonna see if we could waive and get a unsecured judicial release or at least some kind of reduction in bond. There is some mental health issues with Justice, and I've been in contact with his father, who has a place for him at Southern Regional River Woods. Once, if he were to be released, he'd be taken over there directly.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to deny the state's request for a continuance. I will give a UJR. If you would place in that order, Attorney Lane, about the mental health,
Okay.
he will be taken for treatment. All righty. So we were waiting on Addison.
Sanders.
Yeah,
What did we do on Addison?
I think we heard
Addison with probable cause found.
Say that again.
I have probable cause found for Bogan Addison.
Yeah, I think we heard that first that one. Just double check. Yeah,
Your
just
pro
double-
say.
Mhm,
He
down
defended
over.
himself.
That was, yes, no one. Okay. Yes. All right. All right. How can I forget that one?
So Briegel, Sanders, and Cockrell are the last two.
All right. And so we're waiting. Did y'all get Mr. Sanders yet?
No, Your Honor, Mr.
Not
Sanders
yet?
been up yet. No, ma'am.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I'm giving them breaks a little bit.
Gotcha. And then what about Shaheem? That was a waiver. Hmm. So we're waiting on Sanders. And then who did you say was the other one?
Hotwell.
She's the female.
And Judge, that's the one where she's told us twice that she doesn't want our representation. I don't see any notes of mental health concerns, but
You did? You say you did have some mental health concerns?
no, I haven't personally met with her, but two other attorneys in her office have, and they didn't make any notes of mental health concerns. And that's, I would, if that's our procedure, if they would have seen any indications of that, they should have noted that. I don't.
Okay, let's bring up Miss Crockwell Lewis. It's Crockwell.
Okay, sorry. If it's not Miss Crockwell that has the UJR, who was it that had that you guys said? Because I
That
thought
was Justice.
Oh, Justice. Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes?
is there anyone we can send back? Antoine Martin.
Wait a minute, we can do what now?
Is there anyone we can send back to their housing unit?
He has been sent back to the housing unit?
Antoine Martin. Antoine Martin.
All right, Miss Crockwell, are you Miss Crockwell?
Yes.
All right, Miss Crockwell, I understand that you did not want the assistance of counsel, is that correct?
No, I don't need none of that. I need to be released. I was arrested. I did the time, and that's what happened.
All right, so it's been one of those days.
3851, go ahead.
And so Attorney Lane, please, well, I don't even know if it'll make a difference. What's your date of birth?
October
Miss
23rd,
Crockwell.
1990.
Say that again?
October 23rd, 1990.
And how old are you?
34.
And what are you charged with? Do you know what you're charged with?
They said I was trespassing at the airport and disorderly conduct.
All right, so we are about to have your preliminary hearing. What we do today is not about releasing you, it's not about dismissing the charges, so to speak. We're gonna have a hearing to determine if I believe that there is probable cause to keep you detained, right? So this is a hearing, and I would suggest that you utilize
Back up to the wall.
counsel, because as I can see, you don't necessarily understand this process.
I don't necessarily understand what. This
The
is my
process.
this is my 19th time being incarcerated, miss. I understand everything that's taking place. They told me I criminally trespassed at the airport, and then I performed disorderly conduct. What's the maximum time for those two charges compiled?
Radio 3851, case number Julius
All right, Ms. Crockwell, we're going to go ahead and start your preliminary hearing. You are electing to represent yourself. I'm going to ask that you behave in a manner that allows us to get through this hearing, ma'am.
It's nothing to do but that.
I'm sorry.
There is nothing to do except that.
Okay. Now, calling the matter of State of Georgia versus Judy Crockwell Lewis, charging warrant number 2025 WA01772. Your witness, Ms. Bing. Where's the officer? Is that Officer Jermel? Okay.
Jermaine, I'm here, Your Honor. Can you hear me, Your Honor?
I can.
Great. Okay. If you wouldn't mind raising your hand to take an oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Can you give the court your name?
Officer Pierre Jermaine.
And where do you work?
I work for the City of Atlanta Police Department. I'm assigned at the airport.
Okay. And can you just describe some of your duties for us?
Patrolling.
That's it?
Patrolling and answering
Do you have
calls.
do you have arresting powers?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you on duty? Were you on duty on February 21st, 2025?
Yes, ma'am. I was.
Were you on duty in the domestic atrium?
Yes, ma'am. I was.
Is that the part of the airport that is in Clayton County?
That's correct.
Did you have cause to make contact with Judy Crockwell Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe that, the circumstances around that, please?
While patrolling the atrium, especially the third floor of the atrium, the suspect was observed sleeping. So I proceeded to wake her up. Apparently, she was upset the fact that I wake her up, and she started making a scene, being belligerent. And at one point,
All right, hold on, officer. All right, so it's crystal clear that Miss Crockwell Lewis has some mental challenges. She's not even paying attention. I don't feel comfortable that she even understands what is going on. Attorney Lane, I think that was, I don't know who talked to her and did not identify that, but she's clearly mental health. So if you would do a judicial bind over on her.
Absolutely, Judge. Thank you.
There's no need to continue this. She doesn't understand what's going on. All right. Thank you, officer. Have a great one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You can take Ms. Crockwell back. And so, Attorney Lane, do y'all have resources to try to get her some assistance?
Yes,
Or-
I'll notify the folks in the office of that.
Great. All right. And so now we're just waiting on Sanders.
We got Sanders.
Okay, all righty. And,
So she don't want to see this first one. She said she only had two people, Sanders and her. Everybody can go.
God's gonna send it. Damn, bro, y'all don't listen to shit. Who the two people? So what? Bro, ask this very
Carson Burton
shit.
said for everybody to stop sending their people down and bring them down when their court is over, period.
Tasha, I'm here helping.
It don't
Send them
matter.
down.
I'm tired of doing everybody's fucking job. I gotta deal with.
All right.
24.
Could you mute your
I'm gonna, that's okay. I'm
Your
gonna,
device.
they dealing with something. I muted them. All right, Mr. Sanders? Mr. Sanders? Brigale Sanders?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sanders, we're about to start your preliminary hearing. This is the state of Georgia versus Brigale Sanders, warrant number 2025 WA 72714, obstruction, and 2025 WA 72715, simple battery. Your witness, Attorney Bean.
Yes. The state calls Rudy Davis, Officer Rudy Davis, to the stand.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. Would you mind raising your hand, your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-oh. You're frozen. Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Can you state your name for the court?
Rudy Davis, Deputy Rudy Davis,
All right, and where do you work?
Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
And what are your duties?
I'm assigned to the SCD, which is the Sheriff's Enforcement Division. Pretty much do patrols. We work in the jail, help out courts pretty much whatever the need that the sheriff's office are. That's what we just assign. We do that.
And do you have arresting powers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry, you may have said this already, but I may have missed it. Do you do patrol in the public or in the jails or both?
Both.
Both, okay. And inside the jail, what are your duties?
So inside the jail, we assist with feeding, escorting inmates to medical, assisting with PO call, just again, whatever they need, we there to assist.
Okay. And were you on duty February 23rd, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on duty inside the jail or in the public?
In jail, in the infirmary.
Okay. And did you have cause to make contact? Oh, let me back up.
Yes, ma'am.
This may sound like a silly question, but is the jail in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, perfect. Did you have cause to make contact with Mr. Briegel Sanders?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe the circumstances of that interaction?
Yes, ma'am. So what happened was there was a call that came out over radio stating that the officer is involved in the fight and need help. So I got permission from Lieutenant Cruz to go down there to Housing Unit 7. When I went to Housing Unit 7, I saw inmate Briegel covered what looks to be covered in pepper spray. So I assisted with put him in handcuffs and getting him escorted to medical at the time.
Okay. Did the inmate ever hit any other officer, you or any other officer?
No, ma'am. So after the incident, I did the investigation and I saw on camera, I went and reviewed the cameras, and that's when I saw the incident of Mr. Sanders striking Miss Officer Davis in the face twice with a closed fist right hand.
Oh, you witnessed that?
Yes, ma'am, on camera.
Gotcha. Okay. Was the inmate arrested or subdued?
Yes, ma'am. So when I came running down to Housing Unit 7, it was on the catwalk, it's like the walk that's outside of the cell doors. He was sitting there covered in pepper spray. That's when myself and Deputy Farrell just put him in handcuffs. I used my handcuffs to put him in cuffs.
Okay. Did you observe, you mentioned that you observed that he struck the officer in the face.
Yes, ma'am.
With a closed fist.
Yes, ma'am.
But did you also observe the actual, did you observe any resistance or anything like that when he was being attempted?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So what I observed on the camera was he was in a fight with another inmate, and I saw her just trying to pull him away. And when she pulled him away, trying to put him in cuffs, he started resisting, holding his body weight and just jacking away from him, trying to get away.
Okay. So when he struck the officer, was that before or during the arrest?
So during the arrest, so on video, what I saw, when she was trying to put him in cuffs, he struck her 2 times in the face with a closed fist right hand.
While he was being arrested?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. All right.
So she never, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
In the video, she never got a chance to put the cuffs on him because she was actually fighting with him. So she never got the cuffs on him. So again, I was the one that ran down and got the cuffs put on him from the infirmary.
But it was clear to you that she was attempting to put cuffs on him.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. Did you recognize this inmate when you saw him?
I never saw him before. No, ma'am. That was my first time actually seeing him.
Okay. And so how were you guys able to identify him?
So normally the inmate's supposed to have what's called a bracelet with their face on it, their face on it with their inmate number, which is the LE number. That's what we use to identify the inmates. Okay, and so
he was able to be identified through the LE number and gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
And is the person that you observed that day here today? Do you see him on the platform?
Yes, ma'am. It says Clayton County Jail. He's sitting up here in the red jumpsuit with an airflow.
Okay, I think that concludes my questions. Thank you so much.
All righty, go ahead, Attorney Lane.
Hey, good morning, officer.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Hey, so there was actually a fight then, my client and another inmate, McCummins?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're fighting, and then I guess the officer then attempts to break the fight up. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. And what did the officer do to break the fight up? Did they jump in between the two inmates or?
So what I saw the officer do via camera was trying to break the fight up by pulling your client, Mr. Sanders, away from Mr. McCummins, inmate McCummins.
Okay. And then was he once pulled away, did they go to a separate room, or was the other combatant McCummins taken to a separate room, or?
No,
or
sir. McCummins stayed in the cell. So far as what I saw, she tried to pull inmate Sanders away to get him out the cell, but then that's when he began to obstruct by, just pulling away from her, and then that's when the striking began.
Okay. Who was trying to subdue McCummins?
Officer Davis, no relation.
Okay. All right. And so with these two engaged in the fight, is it possible that it was an accident, that a punch was thrown meant for the other inmate that he was fighting with, and it just accidentally struck the officer?
No, sir. She wasn't even nowhere near that inmate when he threw that punch.
Okay. And this is what you observed on the video?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Did it have any audio with it?
No, sir, I didn't hear any audio.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All righty. Closing arguments?
The state rests on the testimony of the officer.
Go ahead, Attorney Lane.
Your Honor, defense will submit with the officer's testimony.
Okay, so based upon the evidence presented, I do find that there's sufficient probable cause to bind these charges over to the state court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court. All right, Deputy, you can, we're done with Mr. Sanders.
Free to go?
Yes, he's free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All righty. Is that it? Let's go down and make sure. All right, I think that concludes the calendar. Anybody have anything different?
Your Honor, I'm not unrelated to this calendar. I did have one unrelated matter from this calendar. If I could address the court on needing some help with a client whose case